Welcome to Jordan's Health Minute. I'm Juanita Washington, and joining me is Jason Stewart, a registered dietitian from our Jordan Health team. Thanks so much for joining us.
Of course, thanks for having me.
And listen, this month, of course, if you didn't know, March is National Nutrition Month. So it's all about healthy lifestyles, healthy living, and we need to do a better job at that, right?
I think we can always do a little bit better.
I know, I definitely can. And this month, the theme for this year's National Nutritional Month is
celebrating a world of flavors.
Wow. So that opens up the gate to a lot of different fun things.
You made it a little difficult for me.
Oh, wow. But I'm pretty sure you have tons of things here for us today. And I can't wait to get into some of the recipes that Jason has for us. And he's opening up the door to a lot of different worlds for us to take a look and get a taste of some different cultures, right? So what do you have here for us today?
So this is pretty, basic to me, but a lot of people might find it a little bit more exciting. We're making our own adobo blend today.
Oh.
So we can oftentimes find this at the grocery store, but we're bringing it home. We're going to do it ourselves, and then hopefully build up our pantry a little bit with some of those extra spices.
And see, I like the idea of maybe doing it ourselves because I think I shared with Jason a little bit. I'm not a big fan of adobo. Please, no tomatoes, right? But, I am open to maybe trying different spices or different ways to get that blend just how you like it. So it's at home, make it how you like it, but healthy version.
Right, absolutely. Couldn't have said it better myself.
Perfect. So show us what we can do.
So what we got going on here is just one variation of how adobo works. Kind of like Juanita said, you can make it however you like to at home. If there is something that we add today that you don't want to add, feel free to leave it out. However, we have smoked paprika here. We have black pepper, we have oregano, we have garlic powder, we have onion powder, we have some turmeric, which gives it that nice color. And then the last one here is cumin, which works really well in kind of like taco seasoning. It gives it a little bit of a funk.
Nice. So a nice blend of flavors.
Right,
here.
absolutely.
Yeah.
So really the way that it normally works is we have our Goya adobo here. This is an individual brand, so you can find various different brands of it. But when we look at the back here, there is a lot of salt in this, and oftentimes a lot of our patients are trying to limit salt. Most Americans are trying to limit their salt.
Yeah.
So we can find all of the ingredients that we have here on our table in the ingredients list for our Goya product. So it's just making it for ourselves, making it a little bit of a lower sodium product at home.
So putting in a little extra effort, right? Because this is easy to go pick up from the store, but we want to be healthier. So putting in just a little bit of extra effort.
Right. I need to mention that it does cost a little bit more money having to purchase all of these seasonings individually. I price this out at around $9 when we're making it ourselves. But again, you're able to take at least half of these containers and keep them in your pantry, whereas something like this might cost you $3 or $4 just for the bottle, and then once you're done with that, it's all gone.
Right. And to mention like garlic powder, oregano, listen, you use those in a number of different other recipes.
Right. Already, but there's certainly room that we can use them more often.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, so let's try it out.
So we're just going to blend them all together here. I already have them measured out. This the recipe that I'm using only goes up to about 2 tablespoons. Okay. So that's going to be our garlic powder. It's the most ingredient that we're going to be adding. But other than that, it's just going to be about half of a tablespoon or 1 teaspoon at a time.
Okay.
So we have 2 tablespoons of our garlic powder. We have 1.5 tablespoons of oregano. This is just oregano, but you can use Mexican oregano, which is a little bit more specific to the region by which this comes from. And it gives it a little bit more of like a citrusy forward flavor, kind of like you would use limes or oranges in some of that Latin American cuisine. Kind of similar if you're going to be using the Mexican oregano. We have 1.5 tablespoons of onion powder. We have 2 teaspoons of pepper here. We have 2 teaspoons of smoked paprika. This is something that is not always added into adobo, but I think that the peppery flavor that it gives and that smokiness really adds something.
Okay.
So if I'm going to be making this blend for myself at home, that's got to be in it. We've got 1 teaspoon of turmeric. Sometimes this can be annatto, depending on which brand you purchase. It really just gives it that color and kind of gives it a little bit of a more mellow flavor.
Okay.
And then our cumin, which only has 1 teaspoon in it, and again, it gives it that kind of like funky flavor that you often find in taco seasonings.
And you know what? I wish that you all were here. I wish it was smell-o-vision decision, right? Because the smells of the flavors, it smells amazing. So it doesn't smell like I was normally thinking adobo, but so I'm really interested just to at least try a little bit of the seasoning because, you know, I love to have seasoning in my food. So I'm interested into how this is going to come out and what the healthier option is. But it smells amazing. And that's the first key when you're talking about smelling.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. It's got to smell good. It's got to look good in order for it to taste good.
Oh, see,
Without
I
a
never
doubt.
thought about look good, too.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, that's a little Deion Sanders, right? If you look good, you feel good. Okay,
I'll buy
okay, yeah.
So the biggest difference right now between our store-bought adobo and our made adobo here is the fact that this has absolutely no added salt into it.
Okay.
So that's going to be something that contributes to high blood pressure,
Oh.
which if I'm just adding this to my food, I don't have to worry about contributing to that risk.
Okay.
Whereas something like this is going to have about 20% of the sodium somebody needs all day long and about a quarter of a teaspoon,
Okay.
which is much smaller than this.
Wow, wow. So it's eliminating the salt, which is huge.
Right.
It's huge for a lot of folks.
And when I cook, I'm going to add some salt of my own, but I don't need to worry about adding extra salt when I'm making sure to build up that extra flavor.
Okay, okay. That makes a lot of sense and a good tip to keep it aside.
Yeah.
So I guess here comes the...
We're going to see how much I
see.
spill.
And how long would this last? Like if someone made it at home and, you know, put it in a container like you mentioned, how long could they keep it for?
Yeah, that's a really great question. Honestly, you can keep it pretty much forever.
Okay.
The chances are you're going to use it before it would go bad. I will throw out, I'm losing a lot of it here, but I will throw out if you're going to do this big, it's going to be better to purchase whole seasonings, something like oregano if you get it in whole form. It's going to keep a lot longer because it doesn't have, or excuse me, it has a much smaller surface area.
Okay.
So there's a lot more space for it to be able to go bad, if that makes sense.
It does.
For our black pepper, if you were able to get the peppercorns and crack them up yourself, just because there is less room for those harmful bacteria contaminants to ruin that flavor, it's whole, so it's not going to go bad as quickly.
He's talking about a lot of work, folks. I don't know if I can do that, but what I would do is I would definitely blend it and make sure that I'm using it or getting rid of it within a good amount of time. But I don't know if I could be home cracking peppercorns.
You can also use a spice blender, or if you have a coffee grounder and do the same exact thing, it does all that work for you.
Okay, okay.
But fair point.
Yeah.
So here we have our homemade adobo here. If we pour kind of some of this store brand out on the paper where I've already made my mess, we can see how much more, I would say you can see the difference in flavor between these two. We have our store-bought and then we have our homemade.
Because again, you said it's the color, it's the look that makes it also taste good.
Yeah.
So, okay. And it's definitely more colorful than the store-bought.
I agree.
Yeah. But we have to taste it. Can we put it a little in the cup so I can just taste a little bit on my... Because, you know, I have to taste everything, folks. Hopefully I'm getting a little better.
What are your thoughts?
Not bad. That
Okay.
really is not bad. And you want to know why it's not bad? Because like I was mentioning before, sometimes it could be a very strong flavor, but that's very subtle. And I'm a fan of garlic powder.
Oh, yeah.
And you can really taste the garlic powder.
I'm a fan of spice, so again, if I'm doing this a little bit more for my pantry, I might add some chili powder as well. I know some people really love the taste of cilantro. The cilantro seeds you can kind of save. It's called coriander, and same thing. If you mash those up, you can put that into your blend as well. So kind of making it your own, rather than just what the store can offer you.
Yeah, that was really good. So if you want any of this, we're definitely going to have some of the recipes and some of the things and places people can get this. We'll have it listed for you. But also, next up, he's going to show us how we can use this with some food items. And I can't wait because I'm a little hungry. So we'll see you next time. Thanks so much, Jason, for joining us.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
And come back because we're going to have, what's up next?
We have some turkey tacos going on.
Listen, healthy foods. Tune in.